My brother and I are best friends forever. We've always had the same skincare routine. I'm not really into skincare, but I do wear sunscreen every day and have since I was a teenager. I also cleanse my face and apply moisturizer. Not a big deal, but I got my brother to start doing the same during his high school years. He is a very attractive guy, and I wanted to help him maintain his good looks. So I told him it was good for his skin, and he listened and never stopped using it. He wears sunscreen and moisturizer daily. He has a new girlfriend. She's nice, usually, but I'm not sure if they'll last. I was staying with him and noticed that his moisturizer was almost out. I get a specific kind from Lush, so I decided to get it for him since I needed to go there anyway. His girlfriend came with me. She is 26 years old and has been stressing a lot about aging. I asked if she wears sunscreen daily, and she said never. She doesn't have time for that stuff. It doesn't take much time, but I didn't want to argue with her. She bought some skincare products with me. She noticed I was buying an extra moisturizer sunscreen while we were out and asked why. I told her that I buy it for my brother sometimes when I notice that he's running low, and I'm happy that he takes care of his skin. She was kind of like, "So, that was your doing?" I said yes, but he was smart and would have worn sunscreen daily even without my influence. But then she said the weirdest thing. She said, "Can you not buy it for him? It makes me self-conscious that my man has no lines on his face and I do." I was like, "Ma'am, what?" I said, "So you want him to have bad skin?" She said no, but it makes her feel bad that his skin doesn't have any lines. She feels old in comparison, and she's worried that other people will think she's aging badly. I said she should use sunscreen or retinol or something, but she said she already has the lines. She would have had to start using those products ages ago. She said there's nothing she can do about it, but at least my brother can look old with her. I said I'm buying it anyway. She needs to work on her issues. There's nothing wrong with looking old, and my brother should take care of his skin. Sunscreen isn't just good for aging, it's good for his health. She said I was being a jerk and not understanding what she's going through. It's really hard getting older, especially for women. I said if she was that stressed out about lines, she can establish a skincare routine, get Botox, use sunscreen, etc. This was probably the wrong thing to say, because she flipped out and thought I was suggesting she needs surgery. I said no. I think you're beautiful. I don't think you look old at all. But if it's an issue, you can do those things. It didn't go well though, and she's mad at me. I understand that she is stressed out, but it seems odd. Who wants their partner to look old? Maybe this is more common among straight women, because my girlfriend and I share skincare. Personally, I prefer men who take care of their skin. I do understand feeling insecure though, because my brother has amazing skin, and when I compare it to mine, I'd never ask him to stop though. Weird. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot one. What you describe is just the basic for lifelong skincare. 26 years old is not too old to start an anti-aging routine. Many people don't start until their 40s or later. In fact, one group in an early tretinoin study was a cohort in their 80s. Don't engage any more with her about this, just leave it to your brother to handle. Comment 2. Not the idiot. This woman has issues. She's only 26 years old and has no interest in taking care of the face she feels so self-conscious of, so she wants to bring down her partner. I hope your brother moves on from her soon. You don't get with someone to change them, especially to their detriment. Now, for the update. Hey Reddit, back with an update on the whole skincare saga with my brother and his girlfriend. You won't believe the drama that's unfolded in the past 2 weeks. So, after the whole argument about my brother's skincare routine, things seemed to cool off. Or so I thought. My brother's girlfriend, let's call her Jess, started acting really weird around me. She'd give me these side-eye glances and make passive-aggressive comments about people who meddle. Now, remember how I mentioned Jess was stressing about aging? Well, she took it to a whole new level. She started borrowing my brother's moisturizer, the one I bought for him, and using it herself. Not just a little bit, but slathering it on like it was going out of style. My brother started to notice his moisturizer disappearing at an alarming rate. One evening, I caught Jess red-handed with the moisturizer. She tried to play it off, saying she just wanted to see what the fuss was about. But then she dropped a surprise. She'd been using it for a week and was convinced it was making her skin worse. She claimed she had more lines than before, and it was all my fault for introducing such potent products into their lives. I tried to explain, that's not how skincare works, but she wouldn't have it. She demanded that my brother stop using the products immediately. My brother, caught between a rock and a hard place, agreed to appease her. I was flabbergasted. He's always been so diligent about his skin. But wait, it gets steamier. Jess started going to these extreme lengths to reverse the aging process. She booked appointments for facials, peels, you name it. She even dragged my brother along for a couple's spa day, where he reluctantly got a facial that left his skin irritated. He's never had sensitive skin, but whatever they used did not agree with him. Meanwhile, I was dealing with my own issues. My girlfriend noticed I was stressed about the whole situation and suggested we take a break from all the drama. We decided to spend a weekend away, just the two of us, to reconnect and forget about the skincare fiasco. When we got back, we found out that Jess had thrown out all the skincare products in the house, including my stash. She claimed it was a cleansing ritual to remove all the toxic vanity from their lives. My brother was upset, but didn't want to confront her about it. He's always been the non-confrontational type, which sometimes drives me nuts. But here's the jaw-dropping moment. Jess's obsession with aging took a turn for the worse. She started accusing my brother of cheating on her with younger women because he maintained his youth through his skincare routine. It was absurd. My brother has always been loyal, and the accusation came out of nowhere. They had a huge fight, and Jess stormed out. My brother was a mess. He confided in me that he didn't know how to handle her insecurities anymore. I felt for him. He really cared about her, but her behavior was becoming too much. Now, for the subtle twist of karma. Jess had been so focused on her appearance that she neglected her job. She worked in marketing, and part of her role was to maintain her company's social media presence. Because she was so preoccupied, she missed several deadlines and posted content that was off-brand. Her boss noticed and called her in for a meeting. Turns out, Jess got demoted. She was devastated and realized that her obsession with aging and skincare had cost her professionally. She came back to my brother, apologizing for her behavior and the stress she caused. She admitted she needed to work on her insecurities and not project them onto others. My brother, being the forgiving guy he is, agreed to support her through her self-improvement journey, but he made it clear that he was going to continue his skincare routine, with or without her approval. He realized that taking care of himself was not something he should compromise on. As for me, I'm just relieved the drama has died down. I've restocked my skincare products and made sure to keep them in my room, away from any potential cleansing rituals. My brother and I are back to our usual routine, and Jess is slowly coming around to the idea of self-care. Not just for appearances, but for health too. Fiancé's ex-stepdaughter throws fit at our wedding after we compromise and let her attend, but not be part of wedding party. But then his best friend confesses he's been sleeping with his ex-wife. Oh boy. My fiancé, 36-year-old male, and I, 34-year-old female, have been together for several years and just got engaged in December 2023. Prior to getting engaged, we had started talking wedding plans back in August 2023 and have been pretty settled on our wedding party. We have my sister, 36 years old, my best friend, 35 years old, his niece, 13 years old, as maid, matron of honors and bridesmaid, and his nieces, 6 years old and 4 years old, as flower girls. His two best friends, 37 years old and 36 years old, as best men. My nephew, 14 years old, as groomsmen, and my nephew, 10 years old, and his nephew, 10 years old, as ring bearers. Now, a little backstory that I will try to keep short, but still give enough info for informed decisions. Prior to us getting together, my fiancé was married for 3 years. Before getting married, they dated for 3 years. During the time they dated, she slept with her ex-boyfriend and got pregnant in an attempt to get back together with him. When he still rejected her, she attempted to force a miscarriage multiple times, but still ended up having the baby. At the point my now fiancé separated from her, her child was about 4 years old. Initially, he did still try to spend time with her, but as she got older, she started showing severe behavior issues. She doesn't listen to any adults, knows right and wrong, and will intentionally do what is wrong, wait to be told to stop, then continue to do it until she is yelled at. Then she plays victim. She bullies other children, including the nieces and nephew in his family, physically hurting them or saying mean things. She gets in regular fights at school. She regularly tells me she hates me and wishes I didn't exist. Really, the list goes on. The last few years, my fiancé and I have had very minimal contact with the ex-wife's child. His parents, however, still insist that she is their granddaughter and get her at least once or twice a month and demand her daddy needs to come see her. To clarify more, they are picking her up from her biological father's house. My fiancé will tell them no. They will also get her and bring her to holidays, family gatherings, the niece's nephew's birthdays uninvited. It got to a point where the oldest niece asked them to not bring her to her birthday because she is so mean to her and the other kids. They still brought her. Now, here is the am I the idiot question. Despite having our wedding party planned for months, my fiancé came to me and said that if all the other kids in his family are in it, then she has to be, or her feelings will be hurt. I personally don't care if her feelings are hurt, and am fine excluding just her because of how she treats everyone. We both know she will be invited because even if we don't invite her, his parents will get her and bring her anyway. So am I the idiot for not wanting my fiancé's ex-stepdaughter in my wedding party? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. No idiots here. I'm curious why his parents insist he is the daddy when he's not. He has literally no reason to be part of this child's life. Why has this carried on if he broke up with her mother when the girl was 4? He's let people force him to play daddy for 6 years. Why on earth? He was the stepdad, and that was 6 years ago. Why are they acting like he's the bio dad? Comment 2. No idiots here. She's not family. She's not your fiancé's family either, and his parents really need to back away from her. Your fiancé needs to set them straight on this. She will only spoil the day and then hate you all for it. Don't invite her. You can get to the inevitable conclusion in a much easier way. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, a lot has happened since my last post, and I've got quite the update for you all. 2 weeks ago, my fiancé dropped the news that he wanted his ex-stepdaughter in our wedding party. I was against it, given her history of bad behavior and the way she treats everyone, including me. But things have escalated since then, and I'm at a loss. First off, let me remind you that my fiancé's ex-stepdaughter has always been a handful. She's the child from his ex-wife's affair, and she's been nothing but trouble. She's mean to other kids, including my fiancé's nieces and nephews, and she's been a constant source of tension in the family. Despite all this, my fiancé's parents have a soft spot for her. They see her as their granddaughter and have been pushing for her to be included in family events, even when she's not welcome. This has caused a lot of friction, especially since the oldest niece had explicitly asked for her not to be at her birthday party, but they brought her anyway. Now, back to the wedding drama. After my fiancé suggested including her in the wedding party, I was adamant about not wanting her there. I thought he understood my reasons, but then his parents got involved. They cornered me at a family dinner and accused me of being heartless and exclusionary. They said that excluding her would be a stain on our wedding, and that we'd be starting our marriage on the wrong foot. I tried to stand my ground, but they were relentless. They even brought up how my fiancé had tried to be a father figure to her after the divorce, despite her behavior. They said he owed it to her to include her in our special day. Feeling the pressure, my fiancé and I had a long, heated discussion. He confessed that he felt guilty about the whole situation. He said he knew she was difficult, but she was still a child and didn't deserve to be left out. He was torn between his loyalty to his family and his desire to make our wedding day perfect. In the end, we compromised. We decided she could come to the wedding, but not be part of the wedding party. We thought that would be the end of it, but boy, were we wrong. The next day, his ex-stepdaughter found out about the decision. She threw a fit, screaming and crying that we hated her and that she was going to ruin our wedding. It was a scene straight out of a nightmare. She even went as far as to say she'd make sure no one would have a good time if she wasn't a bridesmaid. Her outburst caused a huge rift in the family. My fiancé's parents blamed us for her meltdown, saying we were cruel to exclude her. They said they wouldn't come to the wedding if she wasn't in the wedding party. My fiancé was devastated. He felt like he was being forced to choose between his family and our happiness. The tension was unbearable. Every family gathering became a battleground. His parents would bring her along, and she'd act out, causing scenes and making everyone uncomfortable. It was clear she was doing it on purpose, enjoying the chaos she was creating. Then, just when we thought things couldn't get any worse, my fiancé's best friend, one of his best men, pulled him aside. He confessed that he'd been having an affair with my fiancé's ex-wife, the same woman who had cheated on my fiancé and had the child. He said he couldn't stand by and watch the child be treated this way, and he was siding with my fiancé's parents. My fiancé was heartbroken. He felt betrayed by his best friend and torn apart by his family. He started to question everything, including our relationship. He wondered if all the drama was a sign that we weren't meant to be. As for me, I was in shock. I couldn't believe the man who was supposed to be my fiancé's best man was sleeping with his ex-wife. It felt like a soap opera, and I was the unwilling protagonist. Cousin Vicky converts to Catholicism to get her boyfriend to propose, but he still left her. She's done this before. She once converted to a group that indulged in alcohol. So my 21-year-old cousin Vicky, who is 32 years old, has picked up a strange habit over the past few years. She has taken to changing religions or denominations, and has done so about half a dozen times. This latest change has been to Catholicism, because she claims it will finally get her 34-year-old boyfriend to propose, even though he has already said he doesn't see a future with her, and that her converting won't change that. Despite this, she went ahead with the conversion and missed our grandfather's 91st birthday to go to her boyfriend's childhood cathedral 3 states away for her ceremony. Unsurprisingly, this didn't make her boyfriend stay and propose. And about 3 months later, he left her. My cousin is still whining and complaining about how she did everything for this man, including changing religions, and he still told her she wasn't serious enough for him. My response was, well, what do you expect him to say when you change religions, like their clothes? That didn't go over well with her. She called me some names, and now my aunt, who is her mom, and my dad are trying to push me to apologize and do something to make it up to her. I told them they need to stop brushing off her behaviors and turning a blind eye to her issues, especially given that one of those religious conversions she made 3 years back was to a group that got together every Sunday for Bloody Marys, which was just to feed and excuse her continuously growing alcohol addiction. She was nearly thrown out of Christmas last year for showing up wasted and continuing to drink from a large bottle of wine she had. But my aunt doesn't think she has any issues and just lets her do anything without consequences or criticism. It's insane. Am I the idiot here? Edit. For those of you asking about the other religions/denominations, here's what I said in another comment. Okay, so not counting her start as a Southern Baptist or her converting back to Southern Baptism from Catholicism recently, it went like this to the best of my memory. 1. Seventh-day Adventist. When she was 26, allegedly her only days off from work were Wednesday and Sunday, and she hated spending her days off in church. 2. Judaism. 27. She met a guy. She also tried to get pregnant by him as well. Dropping her plan B and picking up the Talmud didn't make that man stay. 3. Whatever that Bloody Mary situation was. 28. Just for the day drinking. 4. Buddhism. 30. This was also during her short-lived vegan phase. 5. Methodist. 30. Not sure why she changed to this one. I think she had friends in the church. 6. Catholic. 32. Yet again for a guy who didn't stay. She also almost became a Jehovah's Witness for a man between the Bloody Mary period and the Buddhism period, but he dumped her, and according to Hirsch, my aunt, got married, like 2 months later, to a girl he dated before he got with my cousin. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. You're the idiot. Her alcohol consumption is irrelevant here. Really, what this boils down to is, she is going through a hard time, and you are tired of hearing about it. There are better ways to get her to stop complaining to around you than attacking her for changing religions more times than you think is appropriate. It would be better to just acknowledge that being dumped sucks and redirect to a more uplifting topic or activity. Comment 2. Everyone sucks here. It sounds like she is going through an addiction crisis. On the surface, that really doesn't have anything to do with your post, changing religions, but people with addiction issues do weird stuff. She needs to get a handle on things. Throwing stuff in her face is unlikely to help. Note, you are under no obligation to help her. Now for the update. Hey everyone, a lot has happened since my last post about my cousin Vicky. Buckle up, because this update is a busy ride. So after Vicky's boyfriend left her, despite her converting to Catholicism for him, things took an even crazier turn. Remember how I mentioned Vicky's habit of switching religions? Well, she's back to Southern Baptist now, and she's been trying to get the family to believe it's for good this time. But we all know her track record. Now, here's where the betrayal comes in. Vicky's ex, the one she converted for, has been spotted around town with none other than her former best friend, Jenna. Jenna and Vicky were inseparable since they were kids, even when Vicky was going through her Seventh-day Adventist phase, because she didn't want to spend her days off in church. Jenna was the one who would listen to Vicky's rants about her life and her latest religious epiphanies. But Jenna, it turns out, had been secretly seeing Vicky's boyfriend for months before he broke things off with Vicky. The whole town is buzzing about it because Jenna was the one who comforted Vicky through the breakup, all while hiding her relationship with the guy. Vicky is devastated, and even though she and I aren't on the best terms, I can't help but feel sorry for her. Vicky's mom, my aunt, is in denial about the whole situation. She's convinced that Jenna is just a phase and that Vicky's ex will come crawling back. But from what I've heard, Jenna and the ex are pretty serious. They've even been visiting his childhood cathedral together, the same one Vicky missed our grandpa's 91st birthday for. Speaking of family, the drama with my aunt and dad pressuring me to apologize to Vicky hasn't let up. They still think I should be the bigger person and make amends. But after this betrayal, they're starting to see that maybe Vicky's issues run deeper than they thought. Remember the Bloody Mary group Vicky joined when she was 28? Turns out, that wasn't just about the day drinking. She was actually trying to get close to the group's leader, who she had a crush on. But when he rejected her advances, she moved on to Buddhism and her vegan phase, which lasted all of 2 months before she decided meat was too hard to give up. And let's not forget the Methodist stint. She joined that church because she heard they had a great singles group. But when the singles group turned out to be more about Bible study than matchmaking, she lost interest fast. Now, back to the present. Vicky's been trying to pick up the pieces of her life post-breakup and betrayal. She's been attending her Southern Baptist church more regularly, but people are taking bets on how long it'll last. She's also been trying to reach out to Jenna, but Jenna's been avoiding her calls and texts. The whole situation has caused a rift in our family. Some are on Team Vicky, feeling sorry for her and condemning Jenna and the ex. Others think Vicky needs to take a hard look at her life and the choices she's made. As for me, I'm just trying to stay out of it. But it's hard when every family gathering turns into a debate about Vicky's love life and religious conversions. I'm still not apologizing for what I said, though. If anything, this whole betrayal has proven my point. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.